Hi Internet, Harris here with iDownload blog, and this might not be the type of video that you'd expect from this channel, but I figure there's a lot of people out there who love their iPhones, but yet also want to kind of regain a sense of control over their usage, myself being one. So in this video, I want to talk about two different methods of doing this. One with keeping the internet turned on, and one with keeping the internet turned off. Let's go ahead and start with the more interesting one in my opinion, the internet turned off. So I'm thinking of this model as basically intermittent fasting from the internet. And this is significantly different than just using something like do not disturb. This is utilizing airplane mode, but in a regular and planned way, just like someone who's doing intermittent fasting and might experience really great results with their dieting using that method. So I think with internet access as well, it's a little bit of sacrifice and discomfort at first, but I think with this kind of automated method could actually be really useful. And with all of this, it's kind of just a model to think about. So you can take what you like and leave what you don't like, and hopefully there's something of benefit. So for this, I've set up two automation shortcuts, one at night and one in the morning. I am in the Shortcuts app, and I have a shortcut made for good night and for morning. And then I go into automation, and then I create the automations based off the time of day, and then I just have it run those shortcuts. So you gotta use those two together. And the one at night, you can start it whenever you want. For this one, I have it set up at 10 p.m. and basically it turns on airplane mode, turns the screen black and white, as well as dims the brightness of your screen. And ideally this would be before you go to bed, so you have kind of a wind down period where your screen is less bright, less colorful, and you have basically no internet notifications coming in, and anything you want to check just won't happen until the morning. So you can see color filters is a great way of turning your device black and white. And then the reduced white point makes your screen much dimmer than even the default can get you down to. So it's almost completely dark. When the morning rolls around, ideally after you wake up, so you have some morning time without any stimulus from notifications and your phone, then the phone will turn off airplane mode. And if you want, it can turn off grayscale and turn off the dimmed brightness. And you can even have it launch a website for a daily meditation or a reading or a prayer, reflection, anything like this. That could be a really healthy alternative to going to Instagram or whatever first thing in the morning. Now notice that you have two options. You can have it run immediately or run after confirmation. I think this is more effective when you run it immediately. That way you don't have to confirm anything, and it just makes it as automatic as possible. But you can do whatever you want and click done. And while I have this set up at night, while you're sleeping and kind of winding down and then getting back into the day, you could just as easily do this during the day, maybe after lunch till 3 o'clock when you're trying to buckle down on homework or work or whatever. It's a good option. And why I think this is still doable is the following. For one, Siri has gotten better. Without internet access, there's a lot you can ask Siri to do on your devices, from setting alarms, changing alarms, controlling media. Obviously nothing that requires the internet, but there's a lot of functions and commands you can do with offline Siri. Secondly, if you need to get anywhere during this time period, you can download the maps of the area that you're in, or I guess the whole country if you have enough storage. With iOS 17, you can download offline maps, and you can search and get around anywhere that's downloaded, and it works really well. This is something that Google Maps had already on iOS, but now you have it on Apple Maps, so if you need to get to the gym or a meeting or anywhere, you can still do that without any distractions from the internet. Thirdly, this is just kind of like something that you could do to still have some type of stimulus. You can set up Safari to automatically download any articles or web pages that you add to your reader. And doing this will mean that if there's an article that you like, you can just save it to your reader. It'll automatically download it. And then when you don't have the internet, but you're still looking for something to do, you could read that article, or better yet, you can have Safari read it to you with the new screen reader or text reader option that works super well. Speed up the reading speed, and then you can just kind of plow through an article while you're not on the internet, and that's great.
The app icon continues to show even after you have uninstalled it.
And of course, you can also download podcasts, music, and if you wanted to, even YouTube videos, and more. And then at night, you can use standby mode, so you can still have your phone functional for a clock or calendar or different things like that, but you just won't have any alerts to check. So all in all, I think the iPhone is more useful than ever without the internet. And as long as you kind of go through the growing pains, and maybe you even notify some people who need to know that you won't be able to be reached during these hours, I think it could be a really fruitful way of intentionally and intelligently gaining back some control over your phone usage. Okay, now with internet on, the first thing, and I think this is actually really effective, is replacing essentially every app that has a website version with that website. So deleting the Amazon, eBay app, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, anything that has a website edition, just use the website version, and it will be clunkier, it will be slower, less intuitive. Zooming might not work, some of the posting might not work, and that's kind of the point. You still get the basic content. You can still do what you need to do. If you're on Amazon, you can still order things. If you're on Instagram, you still see images and stories and so forth, but without just the really intentionally designed aspects of those apps that keep you locked in forever. Trust me, when I did this, it dramatically reduced my screen time just because it wasn't as interesting to stay on whatever app for longer than I needed to. I've even started using a different web browser, so I think it's Firefox Focus now, and basically it clears everything as soon as I'm done. So when I go back into the app to look something up, I'm not distracted by that Twitter post that I saw before, or that shopping or that email or whatever. And I forgot to mention, email is a big one too. I don't have the email app on my phone. I can go to gmail.com if I want to check my email. I do have the Gmail app purely so that I can do two-factor notification checks, but outside of that, I go to gmail.com for my email. It's not anywhere as convenient, but it definitely helps me to stop just checking it throughout the day for no reason. Next would be to go through all of your notifications and just see how many of those apps you don't actually need to be distracted from throughout the day. Some you obviously do, like Uber, you're going to need to know when your ride is there. There's a lot of, sports apps or, any of these apps that are giving you notifications that pop up and distract you throughout the day. Just turn those off. Have far fewer notifications throughout the day. Just keep the essentials, and that'll lead to just a much less distracted experience using your phone and living in general with a phone. Next is using the new check-in feature in iMessage. So you could already share your travel status with someone if you're using maps on your phone, but there's this new check-in feature in messages that you can tell someone when you're going somewhere, so that they will stay updated on your progress towards a specific destination, and you don't need to update them. This is just a means of not needing to be connected to your phone while you're going somewhere. Someone else can still know when they should expect you, and if you're running late, but it doesn't really rely on you inputting anything, texting while driving, etc. So all in all, those are just some, I think, simple methods of using your phone more intentionally, and I really do like using airplane mode systematically, just like someone would with their diet and intermittent fasting, which can just have huge results. I think people can do this with their phones, and it would really change, I think, their nighttime, their sleep, their mornings, their times of work during the day. I had one friend in college who would use airplane mode, and I was really impressed because I didn't know anyone else who did that. Most people would use do not disturb or nothing and then continue to check their phone while we're hanging out or whatever, and this friend didn't. And that was really intentional and really impressive, and something that I've tried to start doing. So anyway, let me know your thoughts with airplane mode and these other tips, and I'll see you in the next video.